Everybody's streaming with Keene Point of View, the best intersection of gay issues, politics, and Christianity. Yes, I'm back, and I'm pretty pissed off. I'm not going to be in character for this video. I'm just going to talk to you straight. But, yeah. Eric Garner, who was killed in front of everyone on YouTube by New York City police, in an illegal chokehold. And by the way, I'm not editing this video, so just bear with me with verbal clutter. I try to be as concise and short as possible, though. But he was killed in the street in front of everyone. Family man taken from his family. He was arrested on suspicion of selling loose cigarettes, which is illegal in New York because it can't be taxed. But so he had been arrested multiple times, and they thought that he was selling them that day, and they didn't find any on him. So he said, "I'm tired of this. Y'all not going to take me in today." He was resisting arrest. Like 4 or 5 officers pinned him down. One officer had him in a barred chokehold, barred by the New York City Police Department chokehold. Killed him on the street. You can YouTube it. He said, "I can't breathe," 11 times, and then that was it. So they're trying to say that his health contributed to him dying, that it was an asthma attack, that I heard heart attack first, and then they said asthma attack because he was a big dude. And what were the cops supposed to do? You know, what were they supposed to, he was a resisting arrest. How else were they supposed to get him down? You had 5 people there. You can pin him down. You didn't have to choke off his air supply. So anyway, a jury in Staten Island, conservative, mostly white Staten Island, I believe, but definitely conservative, voted to not indict the police officers because conservative people always love police officers because they always tell the truth and they never do anything illegal. Let me tell you let me tell you a little bit something about police officers from my experience. Most of the ones I know, family included, as well as friends, are corrupt as hell. They okay, this is going too far to say all are corrupt, but they've all done something a little illegal, meaning that when you drive 100 miles an hour on a 55 mile per hour speed limit highway and you flash your badge to get out of a ticket, that's unethical. I understand it's a perk or whatever, but it's unethical and it's illegal and you're getting away with it. I could go on, but my bad experience with police, I mean, not counting sometimes in college or, but anyway, growing up, I was 14, and my dad and I were coming home from his church that he pastored at the time, and he had his tag crooked, and it was crooked on one side, it had a bolt on one side, and my dad wired it up on the other because the bolt had come off. He was going to get it changed the next day at the auto parts store when they opened, but we left church after like 8 or 9, so we wouldn't get there in time by the time they closed. So there was a white cop stationed in the neighborhood, and I lived in a black middle class neighborhood at the time, and he was a white cop stationed there, and he pulls my dad over as we're about to turn onto our street. Pulls my dad over and asks for license and registration. So gets the license and registration, goes to the back, comes back and says, "What happened to the tag? Why are you asking questions about the tag, assuming that it's stolen when you just verified that the tag, make, and model, and registration are all matching the name that's on the driver's license, and this is the man in the car driving in his khakis and buttoned up shirt that's tucked in, along with his teenage son in the car, in the front seat." My dad gets nervous, tries to explain what's happening, tries to tell the cop, "I can get out and show you what's wrong with the tag because it's crooked and blah, 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 and I'm going to get it fixed tomorrow. The bolt came off." The cop puts his hand on his holster, starts to take out his gun, and yells at my dad to stay in the car and do not move. So my dad was about to lose his life because of a scared racist cop in a middle-class black neighborhood who should have been engaging the community that he was assigned to protect, but instead probably went home to South Baltimore or Dundalk, full of the same racist thought process that, that made him hate his job in the first place. So I remember saying, "Dad, please stop talking to the cop because he's clearly scared of you for no reason, and I don't want to see you die in front of me." I remember saying something similar to that. Didn't care that the cop was there. I really didn't care. At this point, I'm done. So we get home. Thankfully, my dad's alive. Tells my mom about it. My mom is just shocked that he went through that and angered that. Another case of driving while black, which actually happens, and a lot of white people think that it doesn't, but it does. So I have cop friends who would say that, oh, the cop was just doing his job and maybe he went a little too far, but it's understandable. Maybe he had a bad day, blah, blah, blah. Your bad day as a cop leads to people being taken away from their families because you killed them. And you get to go home to your family and everything's fine. And it's like you show no remorse of taking a life when you really didn't have to. I just want to see some conscious thought process there. And I don't see it. And it's really, it angers me. Like, if you didn't have your badge on you, especially as a minority cop, if you didn't have your badge on you at the time, the same thing could happen to you, because you need to look at a case where this black cop is in jail now because 4 white cops said that he shot at them first when his story contradicted theirs. But they believe the cops over the man's story. And he is now a former cop and he's sitting in jail on murder charges that he said he didn't do, but the cop said he did. So anyway, I recorded another video before this and I was getting emotional, and it was 18 minutes long, so of course I can't post that. But I just want to say, America, we need to embrace race. We need to embrace race because this is where we're always going to come to. We're always going to do this in fits and starts. We're always going to come back here and have Eric Garners, and we're always going to have Tamir Rice's, and we're always going to have Renisha McBride. We're always going to have Aiyana Jones. We're always going to have cases where, like Trayvon Martin, maybe if he wouldn't have worn the hoodie or just responded to a complete stranger who was demanding to know his location, maybe he would have lived. Maybe if you don't walk down the street at the wrong time of night wearing a hoodie, maybe you wouldn't have that problem. Maybe you wouldn't have a problem if you didn't go to your engagement party. Maybe you wouldn't have had a problem if you didn't hold a BB gun in Walmart in an open carry state where people can actually walk in with actual guns. Maybe, just maybe, if you didn't reach for your cell phone because you were trying to call for help, you didn't know what was going on, maybe they wouldn't have thought it was a weapon. Maybe they wouldn't have thought that bottle of pills was a weapon if you didn't have it on you. Maybe because you're black, anything that you do other than complying, oh wait, because even when you comply, you can still get beaten in the back of the head on the side of a highway. So it's like, how do we win? What do we need to do to be treated as human beings? Because the Constitution says we're 3/5 of a human, right? Okay, so that was that. And then in 1865, slaves got freed, given voting rights, given citizenship. Fine. 13, 14, 15 amendments. Great. That was only done because of retribution against the South for pulling away and starting the Civil War. That's the only reason it was done. It was not done because America wanted to be nice to black people. The nicest thing America has done to black people, arguably and charitably, was the Civil Rights Act. Even then, it just changed some laws, but it didn't change hearts and minds. We have to change hearts and minds. And this is a lot harder to do. But right now, the fight is to change the justice system. That's hard enough. But to change hearts and minds and people's opinions and attitudes towards you, that's really hard. And really, only Jesus can do that, honestly. Or unless you're a racist and you have a black grandchild. That's really the only way this is going to change. So outside of that, though, I just want America to do better. We're always going to come back here until you do better, America. Embrace race. Embrace it. Black people embrace it. Asian people embrace it. Native Americans embrace it. Indian people embrace it. Latinos embrace it. I just embrace your race. It's fine. The only people who I know in this country who don't embrace race are white people. Like, you're white. You're a part of a race. You're not the norm. You're not mainstream. You're white. You're part of a race. You're equal to everyone else. It's fine. Embrace your race, because in America, the country that set up itself based on race, that led to cultures being developed around race. And this is just how we are in America. It's stupid, but this is how we are. So your culture is often tied to your race. So therefore, when you embrace your culture, embrace your race, you're embracing yourself. Hug yourself. Learn yourself. America, embrace race. We have a problem with it. Embrace it. Stop ignoring it. It hasn't gone away since this country was founded in 1776 or even before then. It has not gone away because of 1865 and Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation out of some pettiness over trying to win the war. And he actually blamed blacks for the Civil War and told free blacks to go start their own country in the Caribbean or in Liberia or somewhere else to just get out of the country. He actually told them that. So Lincoln wasn't really a friend to black people. He didn't really care. And that's why the 40 acres and a mule never came along, because he really didn't care what black people did as long as they got out of his hair. But we need to embrace race. Embrace it. It's fine. Just embrace it. Just embrace who you are. It's a part of who you are in this country. Embrace it. It's fine. Stop running from it. Stop running from it, because when you embrace it, you're going to hug it. You're going to love it. You're going to hug all that hate out of it, because it's going to soften up and it's going to fade away and it's going to break down its stone cold heart. You're going to embrace race and embrace the racism out of it. And I'm not trying to be kumbaya, because I really don't want to kumbaya. I want justice. I'm angry. I'm mad. But I'm not going to burn down anything. I know the racial history of America, and that has not inspired me to burn anything down, and it's not going to start today. So, America, embrace race so that we can move forward and grow from love. Because until you do that, we're always going to end up here. We're always going to come back here. And no amount of respectability of black people pulling up their pants or getting degrees or anything like that will save you, because Martin Luther King wore suits. Medgar Evers wore suits. They met with world leaders. And they still got killed by people who were scared of them in their suits with their highfalutin words and their multiple degrees. Embrace race, America. It's really the only way forward. It really is. Just embrace it with all the problems that comes with it. And this is for everyone. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. Embrace it, and just see what happens when you do that. Because I too want America to heal, but we're not going to heal by just saying let's forget the past and move forward. No, remember the past so that we don't repeat it. But at first you got to embrace it. But at first you have to embrace it. That's basically it. Once again, I'm Jamin with Keene Point of View, the best intersection of gay issues, politics, and Christianity. Thank you for joining me this week on the blog KeenePointOfView.com. I am going through a trial of relearning how to trust the Lord and hold on to Him and have patience. So that's what I blogged about in an essay form and also in an experimental poetry form. So if you want to check that out, feel free. But otherwise, that's it. I just pray for the families of Eric Garner and just so many countless others who have lost their lives to police brutality and police getting away with murder. So, getting away with murder. So, my heart goes out to them, and I really just give this whole situation over to God. I do believe that He's still in control, but I do believe that America is about to go through, and I'm glad we're here, actually, a very uncomfortable period of race again. But I hope we come out of it better this time than before. So once again, thanks for joining. Have a happy Friday. Happy weekend. Take care.